Welcome back to the experience, everyone. Today I have a very special guest, my boy Shawn Oddo. How you say your last name? Oddo. Yeah, I always.
That's okay. Everybody does.
Yeah. I always try to not to do it, but and he is here today because he has a new gym that he just opened up, a new establishment called Valhalla. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, dude.
It's not a new gym. It's actually his second gym that he opened. His first one he opened about 5 years ago, correct?
Yep. 2017.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, dude.
I was there when you first opened, and it was a beautiful experience. So, for all the listeners out there, what is Valhalla?
So I basically wanted to have a facility that was completely different from everything else that was around.
100%.
I've worked in the gym industry since 2001, so I got to see kind of what everybody liked, what everybody didn't like, stuff that I didn't like. And I mean, the main thing I noticed was most of these places were all about money. Right. They didn't really put a whole lot on culture or mindset or any of that stuff. So I wanted a place that was more member oriented, constantly growing, adding new equipment, but actually also try to develop a certain type of mindset in people and a certain culture actually within the facility to help everybody be better, without all the bullshit that these other places had, like contracts and sign up fees and cancellation fees and,
right.
Just all of this nonsense.
Actually giving a fuck about the members.
Yeah. Well, I mean, making it about the members, because that's what ultimately makes. I mean, in any business, your customers is what makes the business.
Right.
So,
and then you've been in like every gym atmosphere, like setting.
Pretty much. I mean, right. Everywhere from corporate fitness to private owned gyms, garage gym. I've pretty much been in every gym setting that.
How long have you been working out? Like, when did you start actually lifting weights?
I started when I was 13, so in 96.
Nice. What made you want to do that?
When I was young, I always had a thing for like the big action stars like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold,
Mm-hmm.
And I was never in good shape. When I was a kid, I was actually fat as shit. Wasn't very athletic at all.
Same, bro.
Yeah.
I was a center when I played football.
Yeah, I used to have to wear suspenders when I played football for the player because my pants would fall down when I'd run.
What position you played?
Center.
Fuck, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have to move far. I just had to stand up and block people.
People don't believe me. I'm like, yeah, dude. I was weighing in too. Fucking 10.
Well, and I had to play. I had to play with the age group ahead of me because I was too heavy to play with the kids my age. So when I was 11, I had to play with the 12 and 13-year-olds.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah.
So that got you started being the fat kid, so to speak.
Yeah, and I mean, I just I think there was a program, like my little sister was doing gymnastics somewhere, and they had some type of summer program, like an introductory to lifting weights, and it wasn't anything special. Like counselors did it, and
not like a football program.
No, not like a football program.
I think I did like the Cordell Stewart thing one summer for football.
Yeah, I did that with Rummel. The year before I went to Rummel, I did the summer weightlifting program that they had. But that was the first time I'd actually ever done anything, and I really liked it. It was really cool, and I think that was a year. That was probably 2 years before I went to Rummel. So then the year before I went to Rummel, I did the summer weightlifting program and just loved it. Right. I mean, just absolutely loved it. And then in I think 2000, I went and saw my first bodybuilding competition.
No shit.
And that just kind of
changed it.
Yeah, that just kind of took it to the next level.
Was that like a local show?
Yeah, it was at the McAllister Auditorium. Nice. It was actually a Muscle Mania show.
Oh, shit. And that was like, how old were you then?
I think I was 17, 18, because the first year I competed, I was 18, so I had to have been 17. Yeah.
Damn, dude. So, it's about 5 years in, and you just went.
Oh yeah,
you had a coach and everything.
No, they didn't even have coaches back then. That wasn't. That's what's so funny now is because people don't realize I've actually been competing that long. But when I first started competing, like
there was
no such thing as a prep coach. Everybody kind of died in themselves and was like figuring the shit out on their own, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember buying creatine at Smoothie King, and the dude was like, "Yeah, man, you could like put it in whatever you want." It was just like fucking old school, like white creatine monohydrate. It was so disgusting. You had to like take 6 servings of it per day.
Yeah, you had to load it and all of that shit.
Like, bro, you gotta do this every day? Yeah, it was definitely
that's why I laugh now, because competing has changed so much, because, you know, cheat meals for most people is a normal thing, and I'm like, and I still don't do cheat meals when I prep. But,
I know you're super strict.
Yeah, but I was like, cheat meals wasn't even a fucking like that wasn't even a thing. If you would have said the word cheat meal back in like the early 2000s, people were like, what the fuck is that? Like, like you don't cheat on your fucking prep. Like, that's not a thing.
No.
You know, so it's just funny watching everything, like the gym culture and everything evolve.
So what after you did your first show, how'd you feel? Did you place?
Well, I mean, it was like the teenage division. There were 3 people. I got third. I mean, I'm not genetically gifted at all. So like the first couple of years I started competing were rough for me, because my body's like, even today, even though I got my body figured out, it's still like crazy stubborn.
Well, yeah, dude. You know? I mean, when I met you at 19 at Body Fuel, shout out, buying a tub of protein. It's like when somebody looks at you, they don't think, oh, this dude used to be fat. Because they don't know like all the, you know, the trials and tribulations you had to take to get there. Right. Same shit with me, and I'm not even in shape right now like I could be, but I get what you're saying, like dialing your body in, and like, you know, you still diet yourself.
Oh yeah,
you were telling me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Have you had coaches?
Yeah, so I think I've had a total like 6 coaches. My last coach was Matt Porter, who was awesome. He was the best coach I had, and I actually learned a lot about my body with him.
Okay.
And got to the point where I think I coached with him for like 4 years. And the last year we got to where it was pretty much like 50-50. You know, we kind of bounced ideas off each other.
Right.
And then I felt really comfortable enough to where I could prep myself. And he was actually very, very supportive of it. And that was the year.
You knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, hey, bro,
I mean, Matt was a super cool guy. And that year was actually the best I had ever looked at that point. Wow. So I just kind of went with it. After that,
did you become a personal trainer, or like did you have a regular job? Like, what were you like?
Yeah, so
before the gym.
Yeah, so I actually got certified to personal training when I was 18.
Nice.
And I wasn't personal training full time just because a lot of people don't really, you know, you don't think an 18-year-old really knows what the shit he's doing, you know, which I got. But so I slowly built my clientele, and then I started working in gyms as like the fitness staff, but I'd also personal training there too.
Curitons back in the day?
No, I never worked at Curitons.
Okay.
The first gym I worked at was Lakeside, which was in Lakeside Hospital. When Tulane bought it over, they actually closed it.
Okay.
And then from there I went to Franco's in Lakeview.
What were like the bodybuilding gyms back then, or did they have many?
I know Curitons was.
Okay. I'd always heard about Curitons, but after Katrina, it was.
Yeah, right. Curitons, I think, was the main one I knew. I'm sure they had more. I know they had World Gym on the West Bank for a while.
Right. Yeah.
I know that was another big one.
And that was kind of newer, like at least. And when I went there a few times,
I mean, they actually had bodybuilders when I was at Lakeside. Like when I was there.
Well, yeah, y'all were sparsed out. Everybody was spread out.
Yeah, it was actually a super cool gym, and I mean, most of the corporate fitness didn't exist back then.
No.
So everything was private owned. And because they were private owned, the gyms were they had better equipment. They were nicer. So we had a fair amount of people there that were like pretty jacked up, competed, stuff like that. Yeah. But I mean, it wasn't like full of people that competed.
Right. I mean, and like nowadays you see these corporate gyms, and obviously I know what you're talking about because you said it tons of times on social media, which I find it hilarious. I mean, like, what do you think the difference is with those gyms and your gym? Because we're gonna get to your gym.
Yeah, I mean they don't care. I mean, dude, like I was having this conversation with somebody the other day, and it never made sense for me from a business perspective. Like, how can you have a business? How can you open a business and in 5 years, 10 years, whatever, the business be the exact same?
Right.
Because that's what
members look the exact same.
Well, I mean, you open a Snap, like if you walk in Snap on day one and you walk in Snap 10 years later, they may have updated their cardio, but like the machine, they didn't add machines.
Correct.
The machines are all the same.
Every now and then you might get like one piece of it, and I guess depending on who owned that Snap or who owned that franchise, right? Like you might have a cool owner that's like, hey, I'm gonna put like this new.
Yeah, and that like that never made sense to me. I'm like, how can you not grow? And
Did you think about getting into that when it was opened?
When I was in high school, me and my friend actually had wanted to open a gym because I was really big into working out, but I didn't really grow up in a very, very supportive environment. Like, my parents always told me like what I couldn't do or why I couldn't do it or this, that, and the other. So like I had all these aspirations, but I never really
dreams are too big.
Pursued a lot of them because, like I said, I just didn't grow up in a supportive environment. When I actually got away from them and all that was when I actually started doing all the shit that I'd always wanted to do.
They thought your dreams were too big?
It's not that. I think that they were just locked into this mindset of what they thought was right or wrong.
Right. I understand.
And like they weren't supporting me competing. They thought it was a waste of time. They were like, you can't open a gym because you don't have money to do that. Like you're not going to make money doing that. And I was always like, well, why not?
Right.
Like, why can't I?
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. So I think they were more pissed off that I didn't do what they wanted me to do, but it was like, whatever. I'm not.
Parents have a funny way of doing that shit.
I mean, some do, some don't.
And I mean, it's not like they don't want the best for you, but I think sometimes they don't realize like there are other ways of making money, other avenues.
Yeah, you can do whatever.
You can make money doing.
You can do whatever you want to do. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do.
So you did the personal training for a little bit here and there. Like, what were you working regular jobs in between? Like, what? I had
to start supporting myself.
I've seen you everywhere.
So dude. I had to start supporting myself when I was 18. So I always had two jobs. Gotcha, so if I was working strictly at a gym, I was usually doing split shift. I was usually working like 8 to 12 and then like 4 to 8 or 4 to 9. If I was only working half a day at a gym, I was doing some type of warehouse work, or I was laying floor for a while, working in inventory, something like that.
And competing full time too, right?
And competing. And then I got out of the whole gym thing for a while, and then I just started working like usually in inventory, warehouse work, stuff like that. And then the last two jobs I had, I think were ultimately what pushed me to kind of do the gym, because I was literally, I was working these jobs, not at the same time, it was separate.
But you were still training people at different gyms, right? Because
I had stopped training.
Gotcha. Was it just because you were tired of the bullshit, or
I mean, the thing, we don't really have a big fitness community here. So the majority of people, not all, not all, but the majority of people literally
just don't fucking work out.
Well, I mean, the client I had, the majority of the clientele I had would literally, they'd tell you like, I'm working out so I can basically just eat whatever I want to eat.
Right.
And which to me, I'm like an all-in type person. I'm like, okay, well, I don't even want your money because you're not going to get any results.
Right.
So it was pointless to me. So I'm going in there, I'm training these people. I don't give a shit about it. They don't give a shit about it.
Well, you care, but just not.
Yeah,
you stopped caring,
but they don't care. Told you that. I mean, but because of their reason,
help them achieve their goals.
Like I'm trying to get you to like make shit happen.
Right. Yeah.
You just are trying to stay where you're at and not get fatter.
Right. Right.
So I was doing. In 2011, I got a degree in nutrition, and I started doing like meal plans and all that stuff online, and I got really big into that. I was prepping people for a while.
People from all over the states?
Yeah, all over.
Oh, nice.
And it was the same thing. Like, people want cheat meals every week, and they want this, and they want that. And I got tired of that shit. So then I kind of started weaning out of prepping people, and I was doing more lifestyle meal plans.
Did that discourage you? Like, obviously you're making income off of this, but like, did you love it so much? Like, if they wanted a cheat meal, you're like, dude, I don't even want to fuck with this person anymore.
It was
stuff like that.
Yeah, it kind of got to that point because I'm like, okay, you don't look the way you're supposed to look yet. So how can you even think about wanting a fucking cheat meal?
Because I did 6 days in a row, coach.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not
6.5.
Yeah, you're not there yet.
Actually, I cheated Thursday night.
Yeah, and so it was just people just weren't that. They weren't that disciplined, and
were you looking for bodybuilder-esque type clients, or were you looking, because that's, I know.
No, I didn't care.
Gotcha,
I didn't get,
I just wanted somebody.
Actually, the majority of the people I prep were actually women, and I was usually saving them from other coach. Like they would work with some other coach, and the coach would either like ghost them or abandon them, or what they were doing wasn't working. So they'd come to me.
Gotcha.
7 weeks before a show.
Oh, no shit.
And they'd be like, can you help me? And I tell them all the same thing. I'm like, I don't have a problem helping you. I'm like, but number one, I don't know your body. You only got 7 weeks to get on stage. I'm like, so I'm going to do the best I can. I'm not promising you're going to be where I want you to be.
No fucking cheat meals.
All I can tell you is like, yeah, right. Definitely no cheat meals. All I'm going to tell you is I'm going to help you and do the best I can. And they were all fine with that. But that was like a bunch of the competitors I had gotten. And then I had a couple people at nationals.
Damn.
And it was the same thing. Like you find out they're not following their plan. They're slacking off here and there. And I'm like, dude, if I want it more than you, like I can't fuck with you. I
like that, dude.
You know? Yeah. I just can't.
That's what I love about you.
I lose my motivation. Like, and when I'm not in it, like again, I'm like an all or nothing person. So I know when I'm not in it, I don't do it anymore.
I know.
You know, I won't fuck with it. So
I think we get so like your type of personality is similar to mine, where like you're just so all in all the time if you're doing it that if they do one thing to deter it, you just get fucking discouraged. And
and you like you pick up on cycles in people because like no one's perfect. People they're gonna fall off here and that shit's fine. But when you notice patterns every week, every week, and I'm like, look, I think you like the idea of what you can achieve more than actually achieving it. You know, like you like the idea of being in shape, but you don't really want to do what you really have to do to be in shape.
Well, I think people don't realize that it's not like, oh, I do it Monday through Friday, but I fuck off on the weekends. It's a lifestyle. It's 7 days a week. If you get a cheat meal from whatever coach, depending on how you look, if you're doing everything, like, it's, that's how you get the results. So I think they don't realize that. And then once they start doing it, they're like, God damn, dude, I'm doing this shit every day. This shit's rough. Because it's
supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, and some people may think that's a little crazy, but I mean, we could also say it's crazy that you eat, fast food every day. And
so, well, dude, and it's the same thing with anything. Anything worthwhile, anything worth having is going to be hard.
100%.
It's not going to be easy to do, like anything. So it doesn't matter if it's getting in shape or running a successful business or being a triathlete. It doesn't matter.
No. Yeah, I know, dude. Well, if you
making anything happen worthwhile is fucking hard.
Yeah, I mean, most of the top athletes or anybody that's at the top, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't just handed to them.
No.
So what brought about the facility, man? How did this come into fruition?
Yeah, so the last 2 jobs I had, dude, I was like busting my ass for these companies, just killing it every day. Helping them, bring their productivity up, catching my department up, working in different departments, helping them come up. What type of
job was it?
The first one I had was working in automotive lighting.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, Oracle. Yep. Shout out Justin Hartenstein. Shout out.
So,
that's my homie.
And it was just like, I mean, brought the shipping department up. Like I think the year I worked was the first, because when I went there to work, they kind of told me like, look, on holidays, we normally work later hours to catch up with all those. Well, I was there for a little over a year. We never stayed late.
Yeah, dude. And he started that out of his garage, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
For people, so very humble dude.
Yeah. So the shipping department was rolling. So I actually started working in the tech department, helping prepackage hardware for wheel rings. After I got that totally stocked up, then I started getting wheel rings ready to the point where I actually started building.
I was gonna say because I remember Kirk was saying some stuff like you were actually tinkering with the which to me is
caught the tech department up on wheel rings, which hadn't happened in I don't even know how long.
Because they have a big fucking demand and it's pretty impressive.
And started working in the inventory a little bit, and then it was just because I told them when I went there to work, I was like, look, I want to be busy all day every day.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to sit around. I want my day to go by as quick as possible. I want to keep moving all day. Did that for a little over a year. Went for my yearly review. They gave me a 25-cent raise. I was like, I'm out. Right. Went to go work at this other industrial tool supply place. And it was kind of, and while I was there, because it took me 3 years to just to get to the point where I could get the wheels in motion for the gym. So I actually started it while I was at Oracle. Yeah,
a long time.
Yeah. I started while I was at Oracle, and when the next job I went to, I was working there during the day, and the gym was going to open while I was there, so I was going to work there, and I worked there 8 to 4. And when I got off at 4, I was going to go when the gym opened. I was going to go work at the gym. I had somebody who was going to work there during the day.
Okay.
Well, the guy I was replacing at that job had been there like 30-something years.
Damn.
You know? Like, I mean,
Right.
they had so much inventory there. I mean, like every different size screw had a different SKU number. Like we just had hundreds of thousands of parts in inventory. So I'm filling this guy's shoes who's been there for 30-something years, and I'm going, I think I was there for like 6 months.
Right.
And you know, and the just how everything was run was kind of very unorganized, and it was a lot on me, you know. And I get it was really easy for the guy. This dude's 70-something years old. He'd been there the majority of his life.
Yeah,
you know, he knew SKU numbers off the top of his head. He didn't have to go look at shit, you know. So I'm doing this whole operation, which I found out later should have been a 4-person operation. So I'm doing the whole
show.
Yeah, I'm doing the whole thing by myself. I think I was there the first 3 months with him, working with him. After I was there for 3 months, he only went down to 2 days a week. And dude, and I'm trying to get this shit done, and it just like the whole policies and procedures of how like the salespeople interacted with the warehouse was just really, it was just a lot. It was a lot. And then they kind of told me one day that they felt like my heart was more into my new business than it was here, so they were just gonna like let me go. And I'm like,
so you still had the job while opening up Valhalla.
Right, Valhalla wasn't open yet.
Oh, gotcha.
I was just kind of planning. I think they had started construction, stuff like that, but it wasn't open.
Gotcha.
You know? But they knew I was opening the gym.
How did you have to go about getting certified to even do all that? Because I know I heard a podcast with you before talking about
For certified for what?
like getting the money to open Valhalla.
Oh yeah. So I had like $30,000 in savings. I had been saving like my whole life. And that was literally just enough money for the deposits for all the stuff. So like my insurance, I needed a deposit. Rent, I needed first and last month's deposit. The loan for the equipment, I needed a deposit. The equipment, I needed a deposit. Like, and that money was literally just enough to cover all the deposits.
Did you try going to a bank? I remember you saying that before.
Yeah, dude. I went to.
So for people that don't know, like, so what's that like for like a new entrepreneur, business owner that has this vision?
It's
this
horrible.
Dream? Yeah,
it's horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, like
it's definitely not built for us.
I don't give a shit what any bank says about. Oh, we try to encourage small business growth and development. They're full of shit.
Yeah.
Okay, they 100%. Are 1,000% full of shit.
Yep.
They only encourage small business growth if you have
money,
the amount of money basically that you need for a loan. And I'm like, okay, if I had the fucking money, I wouldn't be coming to you for a damn loan.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So what the hell kind of sense does that make?
I know, dude.
So
sad.
I went to Gulf Coast Bank.
Yes. Yeah.
And they the guy I'm talking to actually trained at Planet Fitness.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm explaining, I had one of my former clients did this badass business plan for me, dude. This was like this is what she does. She works for a huge construction company.
Okay.
And she's basically like that person.
Right.
Dude, this was like a $4,000 business plan.
Yeah. That I mean, it really matters.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like projections of years.
Oh yeah. The whole thing, dude. Whole thing. So I go and.
How long did that take for her to like develop that for you?
Dude, I don't even remember because that was literally like 5.5 years ago. But
it's nice.
So
back, huh?
so we go there, and the fucking loan officer I'm talking to trains at Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
So I'm telling him the vision for this gym, and you can see he just don't get it. Like he don't get it at all.
Because he's eating pizza every first Monday of the month or whatever.
Yeah. And he's like, well, you know, I'm gonna give everything to our underwriters, and they're gonna they're gonna assess like how good of an idea it is. And I'm like, I've been in the fitness industry for, at this point, 17 years.
Right.
I'm like, so you're telling me your underwriters are going to learn everything I learned in 17 years in 3 days?
Right.
And like my ex-wife's kicking me under the table because I'm like pissed off at this point, you know? And I'm like,
well, because you did everything they probably asked you to do also.
Right. And I'm like, I just, they're like, oh, we're gonna like, and he's like, it's our underwriters' jobs to kind of research the fitness industry. And that's what I said. I said, so they're going to learn in a couple of days what I've learned in 17 years?
Probably none of them work out. I mean, let's be real.
So I think it was like 2 days. 2 days they called me and they said they rejected the proposal, whatever, and I was like, whatever.
Was that the only bank you tried?
No, I tried Chase after that. Chase did the same thing. And then I was reading, a lot of people told me to like look into an online lender, because an online lender, they look at less criteria, but the interest rates are higher.
Correct.
So, and all for me, it just had to fit in my budget. That was all. That was all that really mattered.
Right.
So I went with an online lender, signed all the preliminary paperwork with them. They pulled out like in the 11th hour after I already signed my lease. So equipment was already built. It was waiting to be shipped. They're wanting their money. I got no equipment loan. I don't have shit.
Did they tell you why they pulled out?
They just said the bank pulled out. They said they don't know what happened. The bank pulled out last minute. I'm like, and so I basically didn't sleep for like 2 weeks. I'm trying to find, you know, other lenders. This other lender I talked to said I had too many hard credit pulls.
Right.
So I had to wait until like July, and then they could fund me. And I'm like, well, this has to happen this month.
Right.
Like this
like today.
This is like yesterday.
Yeah.
You know? So I find this. I finally find this one company that, you know, I've talked about before, is basically like a modern day loan shark deal. Yep. I needed to borrow like $47,000. I had to pay $110 back, but it fit within the budget. And I mean, dude, it was the shadiest loan ever. It was like 2 pages of paperwork.
Dude, when I heard you say that,
shady.
Yeah, when I heard you say that on your buddy's podcast, I was like, and you see, people think like, you know, like this guy has it made and easy, but they don't realize like what you had to do.
Dude, there's
facility.
been nothing easy about the process from day one. I mean, you know, seeing what the facility does, that's not indicative of how easy life is or what's going on at that time. Like it's literally been hard.
Right.
When everything finally started calming down a tiny bit, and like my life started getting kind of in a routine, like the floor just fucking fell out of everything.
Were you nervous signing those papers?
No. It had to happen.
Right.
Literally, the number fit in my budget. I was like,
and like paying back like that amount extra, you're just like, fuck,
whatever.
Let's go.
I was like, I mean, dude, I didn't even really understand. and this is true. I didn't even understand that I was going to have to pay back $110 at first, because all I looked at, I thought it was a traditional loan, and I'm like, okay, this monthly number fits in my budget. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. And then the gym started making income, and I'm like, all right, let me see how I can get this loan paid off faster. And that's when I found out they were like, oh no, dude, like you're fucked. Like you got, like, it doesn't matter how many extra payments you make, whatever, like you're paying us back $110, like regardless. Wow. They're like, you can pay back more, but you still got to pay back this total amount. So I actually ended up paying it off like 3 months early, because I started upping the payments, because I was like, all right, well, if I got to pay this much back, I was like, I want to get out from under it as soon as I can.
And
so,
I mean, like, that's like, I mean, when you first opened up Valhalla, it's like, did you know, like, hey, man, I don't even know if I'm going to be able, like, you know what I mean saying? It's like, it's a new gym. It's a new business.
Yeah, I had a line of credit at first, so I had like a little bit of cushion.
Was the same company like gave you that, or was
no Hancock Whitney gave me that? They've actually been awesome. I have all my shit through them. I know some people have, like, you know, people have good and bad experiences with banks. Well, I honestly,
and I think it's harder now for like small businesses to even
sure,
because other people fucked it up for us guys.
Right, sure,
know, so.
Sure. But yeah, I've had nothing but good experiences with them. So that kind of gave me a little bit of a cushion. But yeah, I mean, thankfully, the gym broke even and was able to cover all its overhead after 9 months. So I didn't have too much sweating to do. But
fucking right, dude. No.
But yeah, that was definitely a big blessing right there, because I know it doesn't happen for a lot of businesses.
Well, I mean, you also persevere, and like, I mean, you're just a bad motherfucker in general, so you just kept pushing. I mean, I seen you there since like the day you opened it, or close to it. I was there.
Yeah, you were definitely one of the OG members.
And like when you opened up this gym, from this point forward, like, what did you want it to stand for?
Well, I always wanted it to be more than a gym.
Right.
I mean, that was the whole thing. I was like, this can't just be a gym, because it's going to blend in with everything else.
Right.
I was like, it's got to be something bigger than that. Like, it's got to be a mindset. It's got to be a belief system. It's got to be like a code of ethics. It's got to be a set of values. Like, it's got to represent something much bigger than just a gym. And that's what I push for it to be. Like, I push for it to be, you know, a mindset.
Right.
You know, a mindset, a way that you can conduct yourself.
And definitely, like, you know, anybody that's in the fitness industry is welcome, But like, yeah, like who do you want to cater to? Because people ask me that all the time. Well, it's they only allow these types of people or this and that. And I was like, well, who the fuck is these types of people?
Yeah,
I'm like,
right.
I mean, somebody that works out.
Yeah, a lot of people think I just cater to competitors, which is funny because I only have about I got a little over 500 members and I got about 30 competitors.
Yeah. I mean,
clearly that's not who I cater to.
I mean, it's people. It's funny. Like a lot of people do this instead of like actually seeing for themselves. I mean, I just love the facility and the equipment alone. I mean, I've been to a lot of gyms and I've never seen the stuff that you have or even have now. So I can't wait to see the new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot. I mean, obviously I have a lot of serious people there, but the ones that I'm most proud of, I think the ones that mean the most, I got this guy, Jeff, who's been a member for a while. And when he joined, he was, I think, 400 pounds or a little over 400 pounds.
Right.
And he looks awesome. And I saw him there the other day and I was talking to him. I was like, dude, you look like you still drop. He's like, yeah, dude, I'm down to 280. And those are the people that I love the most.
Don't quit.
And it goes against what a lot of people think it's about. They think like you got to look good,
right.
And really, all it boils down to is you just have to be serious about why you're there.
Show up,
like that's it. Like just show up, be there to work.
Yeah,
work.
You've always said that since day one.
Yeah, I mean that's really all it is, and I love it. I love it when there's people like that have been members of other gyms and have never been able to do the things they want to do, and then they come here. And you got guys like that have lost 120 pounds.
Right.
It's without like a personal trainer.
Right.
He's got somebody. He's got another member that's helping him, that trains with him sometimes, and does his like nutrition for him. But I mean that's it. And he's just killing it, dude.
That's awesome. Do you so now since this is technically your second location that you open, like where do you see it like heading? Like what direction?
I mean the building we're in right now, I think I can do everything that I want to do with. So I want to continually see it grow. I still got a lot more equipment I want to get. There's still a lot more things we got to do with the actual building. I still have to build a posing room. I got a turf area going out back. There's shit, dude. There's probably like 50 or 60 more pieces of equipment I want to get.
So
it's
custom. It's all custom.
Well, I mean, and that goes back to what we were talking to in the beginning. What I never understood too is like, you got these gyms that open up, and how can you feel comfortable as a business not like fully offering your customer base what they need? And what I mean by that is, like, you walk into a gym and they only got 2 chest machines.
Right.
You can't fully train your chest with 2 machines, and not only that, but you can't. Right, and you can't you can't keep your body from getting in a plateau with just having 2 machines.
Right.
So, and that never made sense to me either. Like, you go in, like, especially one of the things that always stuck out to me was hamstrings. Like, you go into a gym and they'll have like a
hack squat,
they may have like a lion leg curl. If you're lucky, they'll have a lion leg curl and a seated leg curl.
Yeah, correct.
And I'm like, well, how can you fully train your hamstrings with that? So like we have lion leg curl, seated leg curl, standing leg curl, selectorized version, and plate loaded version.
Yep.
And an inverse curl, and a multi hip, and
what's the pendulum?
The pendulum squat. Yeah. So that was always my thing. It's like, I want to have everything.
You want variety.
Yeah.
For all muscle groups.
Right. Sure. To where you can fully, completely train every muscle group you have, regardless of like what injuries you have, because some injuries, some people don't feel good on certain machines. Well, if you only got 2 machines and both of them hurt,
right,
well, then you can't use those machines.
Right.
I mean, I got 10 chest machines.
Yeah.
So
easy.
Usually people that have knee problems, back problems, shoulder problems, there is usually a couple machines there that they can use without pain.
Do you think people are just like misinformed about training in general? Like, because I've seen you like work with your clients back in the day. Like, I've seen you like be a lot like what you're talking about. Like, what you're doing.
I mean, I think it goes hand in hand with a lot of the bullshit today. It's just that like the message that goes out there is you can have whatever you want, you can be whatever you want to be, but you don't have to work for it. Right. And that's like the biggest load of shit that anybody can tell you. I mean, being what you want to be, getting where you want to get in anything, not just fitness or health. I mean, it's hard and it takes work.
Correct.
So, and that's the message that I try and put there also is like, you can get where you want to be here, but like you have to work for it. This isn't like, we're not going to you're not going to walk into the gym and just show up and we're going to pat you on the back and say great job, because that's just where you start at.
Yeah,
like you got work to do now.
Yeah, like you actually just earned your spot to walk through the door. Like, are you going to keep it?
Right.
Like that's one of the big things about your gym, right? I mean.
Yeah, so you're right. Your first membership's got to be a 3-month trial, because you have to demonstrate that you're here to train and not fuck off.
Right.
That you're not going to be on your phone the whole time. You're not going to be hitting on other members. You're not going to be just sitting here dicking around. Like you're actually here. Like you're serious about why you're here.
You're here for a purpose. You're here to put in the work, like you said.
Exactly.
So obviously, I've seen a few people on the walls throughout the years. Like, how does one go about getting on that wall?
I mean, it seems like there's a lot of shit you can do wrong, but there's really not a lot of shit you can do wrong. So you really got to fuck up bad to get on that wall. I think the first guy we rejected, he would either smoke weed before he came into the gym, or he would smoke weed all day, because he would come in and like reek of weed. He would sweat all over all the machines. He wouldn't clean any of his shit off. He had his headphones on, and he'd be like rapping and singing like as loud as he could in the gym, and just detracting from the environment. So he was the first one to go.
Right.
2 other people that went were trainers that weren't paying me, because like a lot of people don't know this. Right. Because I don't let a lot of trainers come there, but nowhere in the state gives the deal that I do for training.
Right.
I mean, these people's clients don't have to be members. They only owe me $5 a session. They can charge whatever the fuck they want.
Dude. And that's actually nice if you are a trainer or you don't know about this, but that's.
Yeah, I mean, I was a full-time personal trainer for 16 years, so I can appreciate what it's like to be a trainer and be at these gyms that take like 40% of whatever you make, and you got to charge their prices. Like, it's all just bullshit.
Yeah, and I mean,
again, it's a money thing. Like, the gym wants money.
Well, yeah, and like I think what I wanted, like one of the reasons why I wanted you on the show, so you could show people like, hey, like you care about like everything in the gym, not just like the the money. Like, you didn't have the money at first, so you had a little bit of it, but you know what I mean. Like you still created what you wanted to create.
People tell me all the time, they're like, dude, you need to charge more money for memberships, you need to charge more money for guest passes, you need to do this, you need to do that, and I'm like, dude, it's not about that.
No, dude. Like, I remember when I told you I was like moving back to the West Bank and Lafitte, and you were like, bro, we'll just come 3 days a week and I'll just charge you this. And I was like like it was personal, you know what I mean? And like, and I see you like that with a lot of members, most of the members. I mean, I know you got 500 now, but it just made me feel like I was like, fuck, dude, this guy's like, he cares about, the people.
Well, I mean, and you were one of the guys that like, the people that demonstrate that they're serious about being there, I don't mind helping those people out. I mean, I can't tell you how many people like couldn't come during COVID because they lost their jobs or whatever. And I'm like, look, I won't charge you for this month. Right. Just come and train, because I would rather you have some type of outlet.
Right. And people don't know that about you. Which is, so when people hear, when I hear shit throughout the streets, I'm like, well, I mean, they just don't know you. That's why another reason why I want you on the show is like to show people like, you're a serious motherfucker, but you actually like care about what you're doing.
Yeah,
like the whole.
I mean, this is and people say I'm an asshole about some of the stuff I post on social media, but they don't realize.
Just facts, man.
Well, it's not that. It's like you got your friend. They always say that the person who's really your friend is going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And that's the same thing. So I'm sitting here, and I actually have a post I'm going to make about this. And it's like, people say I'm an asshole for what I say, but maybe it's not because I'm an asshole. Maybe it's because I really care about what you're trying to achieve. Like, I'm telling you what you need to do.
You're not lying to them.
No, I'm not telling you what you want to hear. I'm not telling you, I'm not blowing smoke up your ass so that you can feel good about trying to get what you want, but not really doing what you are supposed to do to get what you want. Maybe like, I give a shit about you achieving your goals, so I'm gonna tell you, no, fuck this, fuck that. Yeah. You need to do this. Yeah. Like, this is what you need to do. This is the mindset you need to take, and you can make this shit happen.
Yeah, like, no, you can't have that cheat meal because you're going to fucking ruin your whole 2 weeks of progress or whatever. But if you really didn't give a shit, you'd be like, yeah, you could have that cake. It's not a big deal.
Or, I mean, you can't stay in your comfort zone. You can't stay in an environment that is not conducive to, you achieving what you want to achieve. It goes with everything, but people don't want to hear that.
Right. Well, nobody wants to hear it.
But, I mean, if you want to do what you want to do, that's what you got. That's the reality of the situation. Yeah. That's what the fuck you got to do.
Most people just aren't willing to do 100% of what it takes. No. They're willing to do like 60%, 68%.
Well, because it's easy. The 100% is the hard part.
What's like one of the biggest lessons you learned, like opening up your own gym? Because I've seen you in there like fucking day in and day out.
Oh yeah. Especially, there's nothing you can do to prepare yourself for what it takes to open your own business and to try and make your own business successful. There's nothing that can prepare you for the stress. There's nothing that can prepare you for the anxiety and the shit that you're going to go through. The biggest lesson I learned in my life is how important balance is, because I had no balance in my life. And I mean,
because you're all in.
Yeah.
All the time.
And you need to be all in. So like that whole balance line is a really fine line.
Right.
Like you need to be all in, but you have to have some type of moment or some short period of time to just step away and decompress. And
you
just
need a plan.
Yeah. And I didn't have that at first.
Yeah.
And it fucked me up. And it put me like in the lowest, most fucked up place I've ever been in my life.
Well,
but that was a learning experience.
Right. It's just like when you're prepping for a show, like, you have your dedicated times for everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's like now you have to learn how to balance that part too, which is something I'm learning also because, yeah, dude, I mean, you can go crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you will. Like you'll lose yourself, you'll lose touch of reality. Like you will, if you go all in. That's the problem. I mean, and I also realized one of the biggest thing I learned is I realized why most businesses don't make it, because I'm like, most people aren't willing to do this shit.
Right.
They're just not. I mean, I didn't go on vacation for 5 years. I mean, the first year and a half, I slept at the gym. When I say slept, I mean like that would be nights where I got like 3 hours of sleep. Most of the time I didn't. I mean, I went weeks at a time without sleeping at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, people aren't gonna.
Most of the time I went there, you were there already, or like you would just be like, yeah, I'll be there in a little bit. Like, it was just, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And people don't realize that, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna open up my own shit and I'm gonna be able to do whatever I want. And I'm like, I mean, not really. I mean,
no, that is totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I still can't. I mean, literally right before this location opened, I was kind of to the point where I was kind of starting to go on vacation and starting to kind of
live life a little bit.
Right. Have more balance in my life. And then, I secured this other location and that shit went out the window.
Yeah.
I haven't been on vacation since November last year.
How big was the first facility and how big is the new facility?
First facility was like 9,900 square feet, I believe. This one's 10,670.
Nice.
So way bigger. It's
2-story.
Yeah, it's 2-story. It's definitely a little bit rougher. It's hotter in there. But the thing that I like, I actually had this conversation with a member today. A lot of people said that, they like that it's hotter.
Yeah.
Because there's no AC in the main gym. I got fans and stuff in there, but this guy I talked to today said he loves it. He said because, Valhalla caters to a different breed of people, and he said if you have any mental or physical weakness, it is going to get put on display.
Right. Real quick.
At the gym.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I mean, to me, that could either make or break anybody, right?
I think it's a good thing because I want to know.
Yeah.
I want to know the areas where I'm weak because I don't want to be weak in any area. And obviously you can't be perfect in every area. So I want to know areas where I need to improve. So for me, I like it's the same thing for him.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I walked in and he trained legs and he's like, dude, I'm sweating my ass off. He's like, and that's like my shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I love it. Like it's hard.
Yep.
It's showing me, because he hadn't been in the gym as much as he wanted to be. He's like, so it's showing me like I'm not where I want to be right now. It's kind of revealing.
Correct.
Where I need to build. He's like, and I love that shit.
Yeah, I get a trip when I see people at the gym and they're not sweating. And I just don't understand that. I'm like,
yeah,
that's
I mean, and when the first location opened, we had air conditioning.
Yeah, you did.
And I was big on having air conditioning, and slowly the air conditioning started breaking, and it started getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and people loved it. They started liking it more.
Well, I remember you let people control the box, huh? And obviously people fuck it up for other people,
right.
So people abuse it, and they didn't give a shit if they were putting it on 62 when they weren't there. So it's like, it's comes with the territory.
Yeah, well, you can't do that here.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
All you can do is turn the fans off, and no one's turning the fans off.
Right. So for the new location, obviously, like you had to get like double the equipment, or what did you do?
No, we got the same amount of equipment.
Okay.
I had enough, and it was actually funny because I was actually able to space everything out. So me and a few people come through and like, how in the shit did we have all of this stuff in other space? I was like, I don't know, dude. I was like, I really don't know, because it looks like it's so much more stuff because it's spread out.
Right. Yeah. Well, you had it very placed carefully inside the first facility. Yeah. Are you gonna have more? Because are y'all gonna have competitions like?
I'd like to. We kind of still. kind of settling in, so I'm trying to see what kind of space I have, and because I've already moved equipment like I think 4 times since I've been in there, so I'm still kind of finding out like that perfect placement to maximize the space and everything. So I would definitely like to eventually do that. I still got some graphic. We still got to put the graffiti wall up and stuff like that. So we still got some settling in to do, but yeah, I would definitely like to do that.
Do you have I don't know how gyms are ranked or placed, but like in Louisiana, like are you ranked at a certain level, or like that doesn't work like that, or like they'll be like, go to Keratin's. It was okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think based on
amongst the community.
Yeah, I think based on what people say, I think we're probably one of like the top, if not the top, hardcore gym.
Oh yeah,
to kind of.
I think it is the hardcore gym in my eyes. Are you friends with like a lot of the guys that have some of the ones on the West Bank and stuff?
Yeah,
like
me and Bum are really close. Yeah. He'll call me if he's got equipment for sale because he knows I'm always looking for stuff. Me and Mr. Johnny at Bodydocs are really close. He's donated equipment to the gym, and he's helped me a lot. So he's awesome. I think that's really the only 2 guys that I really know and I'm close with. Because like I said, it's all mainly like corporate places,
right?
And the people at most of the people own the corporate places, like they don't care. They don't give a shit. They're never there.
It's numbers.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is you think like if those people are charging like whatever they're charging per month, most of those guys aren't even going, or girls, and they're still getting like the membership money. Yeah. And you're constantly like investing in new equipment. Like every week I used to see like something new, or every other month I'm like, God damn, he's still putting shit in.
Yeah, and I mean,
I'd custom.
Yeah, and I'd still be doing that shit now, but
oh, dude, you got a lot. I mean, I don't know which more you can put.
Oh, I mean, I got a lot more shit that I want. But like, it's like with everything else, the price of equipment now is. I mean, I was getting equipment before,
right?
Like every other month.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, now, I mean, but that's when like equipment, you could get used equipment for like
pre-COVID,
$1,000, $1,500 a piece. I mean, dude, used equipment now is $2,000, $3,000 a piece. So it's usually taking me like 2-3 months, to get more stuff. But we're definitely still. That's why I'm actually glad. Because it was really messing with me that I wasn't adding equipment. Because I haven't had anything. But now that we're selling a place, I'm like, man, I'm so glad. Because I felt like if I wasn't adding anything, we weren't growing.
Right.
And like if you're not growing, you're dying. So it was fucking with me like bad, like real bad.
I mean, I've always appreciated, one of a kind, rare shit that I've never seen in any other gym. And I was like, man, how the hell did he even get something like this? Or like that one piece you said that came
scouring the bowels of fucking eBay and Craigslist.
But not only that, but like, for me, being in this, I've been working out since I was 14. I'm 37. It's like, how did you know that there was equipment like that out there?
Well, it's the same thing. Like I've been training, I trained since I was 13. So I remember the equipment that I liked. I've always been an equipment junkie.
Yeah.
So just knowing about certain, and a lot of the good brands of equipment, they don't make anymore. Yeah. So so you gotta go around and find that stuff. But I used to travel around a lot, and I've worked out on different machines, and like I remember all the machines that felt really, really good. It had a great range of motion and stuff like that. So there were pieces that I knew, that I had to have.
Yeah. So what's next, man? You were lucky enough to come over here tonight. You said you were doing a show?
Yeah, I got a show in 3 weeks. I told myself I hadn't competed since 2019, and I did this. Last year was like really, really rough year. It's probably one of the roughest years of my life. And one of my friends got me in this program, this like personal growth program.
Okay.
And part of the program was you had to write down, like your future goals and stuff like that.
Right.
And one of the things I told myself was, I was like, I don't give a shit what happens this year, how hard of a year it is. I said, I'm getting on stage again. And whether I look like shit, whatever, I said, I'm stepping on stage.
Well, I mean, that's your first love.
Yeah.
I mean, it led you to owning 2 gyms.
Yeah. So even despite like all of the shit with the gym and all of that crap, I'm still going through this. I mean, this to date, this is the best I've ever looked. So I'm happy about that. I don't know how my body did that, because I thought with all of the stress and the cortisol, my body would have totally tapped out. But
well, it's like you said earlier in the beginning. You said that you kind of know your body now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get that, because I've had a few coaches, and it's hard to dial people in if they don't really fucking understand you.
Sure.
And then once you start paying attention, you're like, hey, you know what? I could do this and do that.
Yeah. But so I'll get that past me, and looking forward to going on vacation again after that, and trying to get some normalcy back in my life. growing the gym, I want to do. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for kids, so I want to start doing way more like events at the gym,
right.
And basically attaching each event to a fundraiser, some type of fundraiser for St. Jude's or Angels Plays or Toys for Tots, stuff like that. I want to do lots more events like around the holidays, doing fundraisers for kids and stuff. So I'm definitely super excited about doing more of that.
For people, are you still doing like when people want to come first timers? Like how does that work?
Yeah, first visit's free.
First visit's free.
People from out of town still training for free.
Yep. 24 hours.
Yep, 24 hours.
New location. Where is it at?
5441 Pepsi Street in Elmwood. We're literally like right down the street. Right, from where we were before.
And since it is 24 hours and like, because I was a 3-4 a.m. guy, like for people that want to do that, is that a possibility for them to get in there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
yeah, sure. I mean, they just got to come sign up. I did away with the online membership because it was so much bullshit. Like, so at first, people would sign up online, which it didn't charge them online. I had to process everything in.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep.
People would sign up online.
And you'd reach out to them.
I'd put them in the computer, process them. Some would come, then a lot of people wouldn't come. And the people that wouldn't come would get pissed off that I charged them.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, well, you signed up for membership.
Right.
So in order to not have to deal with that anymore, when people would sign up online, I would just hold the application and wait for them to come in.
Right.
90% of the people wouldn't even come in.
Damn.
So when I transitioned locations, I was like, all right, we're doing away with the online membership. Like if you're serious about wanting to sign up, you have to get your ass in here and physically sign up. So the online membership application isn't there anymore. So they do have to come in when I'm there. I'm normally there like 8 to 12.
Do you feel like that's kind of like made a difference, or is it about the same, or? I guess it's still too early to tell.
Yeah, it's kind of too early because we only been in there for 2-3 weeks now.
Dude. Yeah.
But I am making people pay the trial membership up front right now, which no one has had a problem with that. Just because I was dealing with people canceling during the trial and stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, clearly you're not serious about. I mean that's my biggest pet peeve is like I feel like by now people should know who we are and what we're about.
Correct.
Like. What I remember, our membership prices went up, so it's $60 a month.
Right.
That was also to deter people who aren't serious about being there. It's like, look, you know what we are. Yeah. If you don't want to pay the price, if you don't want to be here, don't come fucking sign up, like son of a bitch.
They can't. You can't even get half of the leg equipment in 10 gyms that you have. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like 60 is a very
well. I mean, price. And that's the thing. The people that appreciate it, people that appreciate what we have, all say that I need to charge more money, but that's not what it's about. But like, if you appreciate, if you appreciate what we have, if you're that type of person that fits in with the mindset and the environment we have, I mean, no one has bitched about paying $60 a month.
Man, people spending money on worse shit, right?
Way worse shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, based on what Oshner costs and Premier costs and all of that shit. I mean, and I got more equipment than Premier, and I got almost as much equipment. And I will have more equipment than Oshner. I mean, when it's done, my goal when it's done is to have 200 pieces of equipment, and I think we got 97 right now. So the goal is 200.
What'd you start with?
Shit, maybe like 30.
Fuck, bro.
Yeah. But that was the thing, I started out with, what I could start out with, and I wanted some new pieces that places didn't have, so I made sure I got some of that, but I always knew we were going to be growing, always, and it gave us something to kind of grow into and to aspire, to be and stuff like that. Well, I mean, and it makes people appreciate it because they see that you're growing.
Oh my God.
They see, they're like, holy shit. Like,
every time you get something new.
I think in 1 year, I added like 15 machines. Yeah. One of the years we were open.
Yeah, because you were going to Texas a lot, right?
A lot. Yeah, I just went.
Every time you make a post, I'd be geeked out. I was like, oh shit. Yeah,
I just went to Houston. I think last week or 2 weeks ago to go get. I got another attachment side for the cable crossover we have. So.
Dude. How many? I wanted to talk a little bit about the powerlifting because I know a lot of people go there for that. Like, how many teams do you have right now, or like, how does that work?
I just have one team that's there, but they're not. They're separate from me. It's not like we don't have a Valhalla team, you know. But
you ever thought about doing something like that? I mean,
not really.
No. You just want to represent the gym for what it is.
Yeah, because I feel like if I did it for powerlifting, then I'd have to do it for bodybuilding, and to include everything.
Right. You just want everybody, no matter what they're doing, to just join the gym and be a part of it. But,
yeah, sure. Sure.
Gotcha.
Sure. Yeah, we got stuff for powerlifting, strongman. When we do the turf area, we'll have everything you need for agility.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
And you've had some big names coming there too, dude. Guest. You still doing that now?
Yeah. Usually if people are in town, Luke Hawks has been huge.
Yeah,
with helping out the gym.
Shout out,
because he's tied into with acting and all that stuff. So usually if anybody comes in town, most of the people that come in, he knows are looking for a serious gym. So he'll send them all our way.
Dude, that's awesome.
Stuff like that.
How can people get in touch with you through what different social media?
Yeah, so we got Facebook. It's my name, Shawn Oddo, and it's Valhalla Training Grounds in parentheses after. Instagram's Training for Valhalla. Spell out 4. It's not the number.
Gotcha.
trainforvalhalla@gmail.com, or my cell phone is actually the gym number now. I had a separate gym number that was getting forwarded to my cell phone, and then I have to call people back on so everyone had my cell phone number. Dude. So I'm like, I'm paying for a phone line. It's fucking retarded. I was like, I'm just making the number my cell phone.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Yeah. And then you could choose to use it or ignore it, You're very good about that.
Yeah, so, and then we got trainforvalhalla.com. Has got all the social media, my contact number, everything on there.
Nice, man. Dude, I appreciate you coming on tonight, and thank you for everything you've done. I know the fitness community appreciates you. You got anything else you want to say before we?
No, I'm just really excited to be selling this new spot and to be able to bring even more stuff than we did before. I'm looking forward to growing. The most important thing to me is to get the mindset and the message out there, because I feel like that's something that the world as a whole needs right now. So for me, the most exciting part is rallying more people around that mindset and that culture. So just trying to reach out to as many people as I can and inspire as many people as I can to that message resonates with.
Yeah.
And bring them together.
500 members, dude, plus a lot more, so that's you're reaching a lot of people, and you're helping a lot of people too.
And that's honestly the most important thing, dude, is just helping people be the best there can be. And when people come up to me that have been training for 10 plus years, they've been to multiple gyms, and they come tell me that they're doing things they've never done before here as a place. That makes it all worth it. I
mean, dude, like I said, when I was going through my shit and I saw you starting your thing, I was like, that gave me hope to continue on my path, continue on my journey, and just push myself. You know what I mean? And so, thank you for that, dude, because, you've helped a lot of people.
I mean, dude, none of us are special, regardless what social media messages and shit say out there. There's nothing special about me. I'm just a regular fucking dude. I still don't really consider myself successful because there's so much more stuff I want to do.
Right.
But I mean, everything I've done,
you just kept working, dude.
Dude, that's all. I just read the new book.
In case y'all didn't know, he kept working, people.
Yeah, I just read this this book. I don't remember the name of it, but basically the message they were saying was go one more day without quitting. So if you want to quit today, just go one more day, and then tomorrow, when you want to quit again, just go one more day. It's just one more day, more day, and that's literally all I did. Every time I wanted to quit, every time I was sat up crying my eyes out, just ready to be done because I was out of my mind, I just didn't quit. That's all it is.
I'm sure you had a few moments like that, huh?
Yeah, I had a ton of moments like that. A ton.
Right, dude. I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for coming on,
thanks for the opportunity, dude.
And look forward to having you back one day, guys. And thank y'all for watching, and hope y'all enjoyed it. Thank you.